There we go. I think it's working. And it's working. There we go. Alright, just gonna double check to see if everything's working here. And if it is, we are good to go. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Alright. It's nice to see it's working. Happy about this.
I think there's potential. As far as we can tell, I've been unable to confirm who's going number one. I think Carl's radio silence up there. I still think it's Adley Rutschman. It could be Bobby Witt Jr. It could be Andrew Vaughn. Maybe could be JJ Bleday. I think I think we could be surprised, Greg. I mean, I think you can make cases for maybe Bobby Witt, because of the shortstop, 5-tool shortstop thing. But Orioles haven't confirmed anything yet. Yeah, I still think.
Alright. Well, looks like everything's working. So, welcome everybody to the MLB Draft live stream. We are right now. It's just me. My name's Tyler Jennings. I'm the only one here right now. I'm going to have Mick, my little sidekick, coming in here around 8 o'clock Eastern, so we got about under an hour before he comes in. He's currently busy. But we're probably going to get through about the first 10 picks on this and see what goes from there.
I never heard Bleday in the mix for number one, but you're saying he is in the mix. I think more kind of back burner, to be honest. But no, honestly, I mean, if I'm the Astros, I probably would do the same thing. I hate it from a media standpoint.
There we go. All right. But yeah, we're if you're looking on the screen now, you've got Jim Callis and Carlos Collazo on the screen. They're discussing who to go over on the draft right now. So we're going to go from there. Going to put that there, see what it does. There we go.
Oh, what is this? Adley Rutschman is on the phone. So who knows what's going on right now? That was me. Oh, that was you calling him? Leave him alone. Sorry. What makes the place in probably getting it from American Green. They might be getting it from Papa John's. I don't know. I don't know where they're getting it from. I know if they got enough, they send it over here, right? This whole thing about
and just double checking here, make sure everything's good to go.
You're going to get a possible another player and maybe give him a little bit to get that second player. When if you feel convicted that the guy's the best player, he's going to be better than what you can do to combine a draft pick. That's how I look at it.
There we go.
It would make sense to me if they had a pick.
Yeah. Just a little overview on the draft tonight. There's still a little bit of uncertainty on who the Orioles are going to take at number one. We got about 5 minutes to the draft here. There's been rumors that they've been linked to about 4 different players. I would assume those 4 would be Adley Rutschman, Bobby Witt Jr., Andrew Vaughn, and JJ Bleday. However, there's always been noise for that kind of stuff that happened last year with Casey Mize, so it more than likely will be Adley Rutschman. It's going to be number 1 overall pick to Baltimore, which would be a relief to a few fans who were a little stressed out over the report that came out last night. But, I mean, everything else should be spick and span to go with that. Anywho, my top 5 projected as of right now, I still fully believe Adley goes number 1, like I said. Bobby Witt Jr. goes number 2 to the Royals. 3, the White Sox will take Vaughn, in my opinion. If not, they go Abrams and Vaughn follows to Detroit. If that happens, that means Riley Greene goes to the Padres. But 4 is still solidified with JJ Bleday to the Marlins, and then 5 right now I have Riley Greene, but that's always subject to change with how stuff goes. So we'll see what happens here. Here.
Bobby Witt Jr. up there in Texas hanging out with his family and friends. The high school phenom. Will he be number 1? We got CJ Abrams. We got a CJ Abrams cam.
Yeah, I think Adley Rutschman just got off the phone. So I fully expect Adley to be drafted first overall here because I think he was talking to the Baltimore Orioles. So we'll go ahead and just after this commercial is over, we'll have Rob and Branford go up onto the stage and see how we go from there. Yeah, I did put out a mock draft about an hour ago, and I'll just bring it up here just to kind of go ahead and go with it. Let me bring it up here. But like I said, I did have the top 5. My top 5 is going to be Rutschman, Witt, Vaughn, Bleday, and then you got Riley Greene going 5th to the Detroit Tigers. Then it starts to get a little bit iffy after that, mainly because there's going to be so much fluidity going on with this draft, like there is every year. So we'll see what happens, but right now I do have Abrams to 6 to the Padres, I do have Lodolo to 7 for the Reds, and that would actually be the lowest top pitcher's been drafted in the since at least 1981. So Baseball America said it's the weakest pitching class since then, which isn't surprising, because just looking at the depth on it, you got Lodolo, Rutledge, Manoah, Thompson, and it kind of goes off a little bit there. Then you got Allen starts the prep class. Then of course there's Quinn Priester, George Kirby, and then kind of a little bit of drop off to Brendan Malone. And then you'll start looking at some of the mid-tier starters. You'll probably be looking at Seth Johnson. Blake Walston is a helium guy. He's had a lot of helium lately, so he's risen up into the first round, in my opinion. Especially with the Arizona Diamondbacks having 7 picks in the first round. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, anyways, just give it a couple more minutes. We'll get everything set to stone, and we'll get ready to roll. So we'll see how that goes. As you can tell, we're still in commercial. We've got about minutes of draft, so we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there.
It's more than who you are.
And to everyone that's in the chat as well, if you feel free to ask any questions, please go ahead and do that. It will be me again, like I said, for the first hour or so. Then Mick will come on, and we'll go ahead and get everything rocking and rolling from there. So there might be some time where I have to go off and work on some things to try and get him into the get everything rolling with him. But other than that, we should be good to go.
Left out.
So
You are not left out. You are a center fielder. That's not what I mean. Well, you just keep telling yourself, I'm not left out, I'm not right out, I'm a center fielder.
They're not those kind of analysts, but they do analyze.
I'm sorry, these commercials from MLB Tonight and MLB Network are kind of a little bit out there. But here we go, 7 o'clock, the draft is getting started, and we'll see how this goes. Here's a little intro, and we'll just sit back and enjoy this.
What's like the one thing that separates the kids that, have it from everyone else? I tell them the same thing every time. There are no secrets. All you have to do is look hard enough, and you'll figure out the right answers for draft night. Plain and simple as that. A scout like me is on the road constantly, thousands of miles a year, all over the country.
I will also be checking Twitter almost constantly. It will be just easier for me to figure out when the picks come in. Because I do have quite a few people I follow on Twitter that do give out updates on everything. But I feel like that might not be mainly important until we get closer to around the middle of the top 10, maybe around 5 to 10. Now I also just realized this intro has some, I think most of the video is actually from National High School Invitational. So for those who don't know, I did go and scout. I scouted out there. I stayed primarily with Baseball America and a couple of those guys. I was mainly with Carlos Plaza and anyone like that. And yeah, we were scouting. We had Abrams, Greene, we had Malone. There was Jack Leiter as well. Jack Leiter is going to be a very, very tough sign tonight. If he does get signed, it's going to be for overslot value. I think there's only going to be a handful of teams that will be able to do that. Arizona is definitely one of them, in my opinion, because they do have 7 picks in the first 100 this year. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for them. But their first pick is 16, and they have 33 or 26. They have 16 and 26, and then they have 2 back-to-back at 33 and 34 for the compensation picks for Pollock and Corbin, since they signed elsewhere in the offseason. And then they have 3 more after that, but they'll be later on in the second round and such. I think they have a second round pick, a competitive balance B round pick, and then they also have a third round pick before they hit the Hunters pick in the draft tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But as we prepare, and to answer your question there, Theodore, the live stream is on MLB.com. If you do go on the MLB Draft Twitter account, there's a Twitter account for that. They have a link that's up there, and it is completely free. So you can go ahead and just watch it on there, and it'll be good to go. But yeah, anyways, we'll go ahead. You got the Royals draft from there. They're most likely taking Bobby Witt. But if they don't take Bobby Witt, then there's most likely Witt goes number 1 overall. But I highly doubt that, personally. Yeah, and there's the Arizona draft picks. They have 56, 74, and 75 after the first 4 there. And then there's Adley. More than likely going to be the first overall pick here. And I think, if someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I know they hosted a regional in the tournament, the NCAA tournament, and they didn't reach the regional final, so I think they're out of it right now. Because they did get upset by Cincinnati on Friday night, where Adley got walked with the bases loaded, which was very, very weird to see.
For the 11th consecutive year, Studio 42 is transformed into the home for this marquee event. Tonight, representatives from all 30 Major League ball clubs are here to gobble up the best amateur baseball talent in the country.
There you go, Theodore. I don't know if you heard me on the stream, but I went ahead and got that ready for you.
Potential draftees in the house. We're going to be chatting with many more as they have draft parties all over our nation. Big night, the future of baseball starts right now.
I sound lovely. But time to go for a little bit of an adventure here. I was just watching these guys talk for about the next 10 minutes or so before I have Rob Manfred come up on the screen. But I will go ahead and continue talking about the mock that we did put out earlier. I know I got as far as Lodolo, but after that we got Hunter Bishop to the Texas Rangers. We both me and Mick agreed on that. And Mick will be on here around 8 o'clock, like I said. He's caught up with something else right now, so he will be on later. And we'll go ahead and go from there. But then after that, I've got Rutledge to the Braves. He's got Langoliers. Langoliers did have 11 RBIs, I think, the other day, which is an NCAA record for the tournament. So interesting there. So we'll see how that pans out. But I think Rutledge does go top 10. Then you got Alec Manoah going after that. We had agreed on that to the Giants, but that's also wide open. You can see Hunter Bishop go there if he does drop. Anyways, here comes Rob Manfred. And
thank you. Good evening. On behalf of Major League Baseball, we welcome you to the MLB Network for our 2019 draft. This is an important night for players, families, coaches, scouts, and our entire game. I thank all of the Hall of Famers, World Series champions, and other accomplished figures who are here tonight representing our 30 clubs. I especially want to recognize the young men who are with us here tonight. Brett Beatty, a third baseman from Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas.
all right, so I know I'm interrupting Rob Manfred, but I do see your question there, Alexis. The White Sox They're kind of an odd. I wouldn't say they're an oddball at 3. I think their best bet is going to be Vaughn tonight, personally. But if they do pass on Vaughn, they'll probably go ahead and take CJ Abrams out of West Trinity High School in Georgia. And if that happens, then Vaughn has a good chance to go to Detroit. Because Bleday is just a set in stone, I feel like, at number 4 to the Marlins. But we'll see how that plays out. I fully think Vaughn goes 3. So we'll see what happens with that.
Christian was introduced to us by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. His wish was to tour the MLB Network studios because of his interest in broadcasting. We are also thrilled that senior softball player Brooke Bearden from Liberal High School in Missouri is with us tonight. We look forward to sharing Brooke's courageous story when the Cardinals make the 19th selection. We thank Brooke and Christian for being here tonight.
So yeah, that's pretty cool stuff right there. To have those two. And whenever they do come up to the podium to announce the selections, I'll just let them go ahead and speak so that way their story gets out. But anyways, the Orioles are on the clock. And we'll see what happens. And they're on the clock. They have about 4 minutes here as MLB Network goes to commercial break, by the looks of it. Yeah, I think this is the highest pick that Baltimore's had since they selected Manny. I think he was 3rd or 4th overall. Or 2nd. I know he was top 5 pick. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that's the highest pick that they've had since then. Maybe they had one higher with Bundy, but I think he was just a little bit under that. Yeah, anyways, the Orioles are on the clock.
It looks like a piece of candy. Look at the interior. This is nice. This is my sexy mom car.
I would feel like a cool dad.
It's just really chic. Love this. It's gorgeous. I would pull up.
Also, D from Detroit, I do see your know about Lodolo. Yeah, I can go ahead and turn the volume up for you there. There you go. Sorry about that. It might be just how loud my mic is, but I kind of kept it low so I could do most of the talking, but I apologize, so I'll go ahead and put that up. But,
Well, my she shed's on fire. Your she shed was struck by lightning.
Zachary, is my she shed covered by State Farm?
Your she shed's covered, Cheryl.
You hear that, Victor? I'm getting a new she shed.
TV's up, guys. So we're good. But D from Detroit, I do see your comment about Lodolo going before 5. I honestly doubt that happens, but personally, I don't think that Lodolo will even be considered to Detroit as much as one would think. I feel like they're more set on taking the prep outfielder in Riley Greene. So, but again, we'll see what happens. So, once we get to that pick, it might be a little bit before we get there, though, because I know they like to stretch out these picks a little bit.
Limits are meant to be pushed. It's the only way progress is made. Some prefer to pace themselves.
We'll just leave it like that. So, let me just go ahead and get ready here.
Chase down your passion. Never halfway. Hankook Tire. Hey kids, you want to be the next
Yeah, when it comes to scouting reports tonight, I am going to be going off the Baseball America Top 500. They do have scouting reports on all 500 players. We might be able to go through that for tomorrow as well. I'm still debating whether I do a draft for rounds 3 through 10. However, we are back. There is about a minute left on the Orioles clock.
That organization is currently 21st according to Baseball America. So that's what we're waiting for. Brian Roberts is here. He is the club rep. He's the Orioles community ambassador.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick look through on Twitter, see if there's any solid information.
All right, guys. So I love the comparison to the 2010 draft. There's so many big names.
All right, picks in, and I won't spoil it for you guys. I already know which one it is.
Machado in that draft, they still stayed true to the guy they thought was.
But I'll let you guys figure this one out on your own.
I think the same thing's going to happen here.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's a slam.
But at the same time, it's
He's that much of a
kind of a no-brainer here.
As we await the number 1 pick, here is the question.
With the first selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Baltimore Orioles select Adley Rutschman, a catcher from Oregon State University. The Kansas City Royals have the next selection.
Well, there you see him. Pat Casey, this is a kid you recruited. He can hear you right now. Adley Rutschman just been taken #1 overall. They're on a bit of a delay. You see the reaction now. Before you ask him a question, your thoughts on the moment that you're witnessing for one of your former players.
Well, Rob, what a moment for an unbelievable kid and an unbelievable player. You know, had he just been a great kid, it'd be something, but this guy's the complete package. He can hit, he can defend, he defends at an elite position. The intangibles are just off the chart. He'll handle any pitching staff. He will make pitchers better. I see this guy hitting 30 to 35 home runs in the big leagues, being a multiple-time All-Star. I just think it's an amazing journey that he's taken. He could have been a professional kicker, in my opinion. He really has all the tools.
Pat, he's standing in the orange and black.
He's wearing, that's right, doesn't even have to change colors, man. All the Beaver fans can go out and see him right now. You don't even have to change colors.
That is great. Pat, we're going to talk to Adley in just a moment. You're looking at him. He entered 2019 as the consensus top prospect in this draft. He played that way this spring at Oregon State. He entered the college baseball postseason hitting .419 with 17 home runs, 57 RBIs in 55 games. Our own Joe Girardi has more on 2019's #1 pick.
Thanks, guys. I love this pick. Adley Rutschman is an extremely polished player. He's also very talented, and I believe he'll move through the system quickly and help the club as soon as 2021. And let me show you what I'm talking about. As you watching this tape, he not only blocks wells and throws well, he does everything. Look at this presence of mind to have a pickoff here. Strong arm, extremely accurate. His mechanics in throwing are excellent, so he's going to throw. Watch the blocking. He steers it towards home plate, keeps it in front of him, gets the runner out, clears an area to throw. Do you want him to steal some pitches? Yeah, I can steal some pitches. Let me help you get a strike here. Let me make that low pitch a strike. And here's what I love the most. This man lets the ball travel. This is a very good power-hitting, switch-hitting catcher. And look at him. He can play other positions. Not only can he catch, he can play first base. And versatility is so important in the big leagues today. And you want to talk about one other thing. This guy does not shy away from the big moment. The most outstanding player in the 2018 College World Series last year, he had 17 hits and 13 RBIs.
Awesome. Joe Girardi, thank you very much. Adley joins this list of catchers to be drafted first overall. The last 3 to do it, B.J. Surhoff in 1985 and Joe Mauer in 2001, so it's been a while. Adley Rutschman, the switch-hitting catcher of Oregon State, is now baseball's #1 draft pick. Adley, congratulations. Give me the way you're feeling right now in a moment like this.
It's everything I've always dreamed of. This is an unbelievable feeling, and I couldn't have asked for anything more.
What more do you know? Looking at the top 3 teams, the Baltimore Orioles. What do you know about them? What do you think of that organization?
I really like their leadership at the top. I think they're going to be headed in a great direction, and I'm just really excited to play for them.
All right, Pat Casey, I know you want to talk to your former player. Go right ahead, buddy.
Hey, Rutsch, congrats, man. And I know what it's like for you sitting there in the bad players lounge because you are a player. And I know those guys behind you are players too. What I want to know, first off, is your dad breathing? Is he still alive? Is he moving around? Is he good?
Yeah. He's doing good. He's happy.
All right. Hey, Rutsch, tell me what, if there was a time in your career that you felt like you could be a big league player and that you could be a first-round pick and maybe even the first guy in the draft. Was there ever a time that you felt that?
I tried not to think about it, to be honest. And for me, it was always just keeping with the team and trying to be the best individual and the best teammate I could be. So, and that was something you taught me. So, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, you are one heck of a player, and I can't wait to see you play in the black and orange again, because it was an honor to uni up with you, man.
Thank you, Coach. You too.
All right, Adley, I'm cutting you and Pat off, all right? Hey, I want to ask you some of the challenges ahead of you. As a switch hitter, what do you feel like some of the challenges might be in pro ball, and being able to maintain that stamina as a catcher over 142 games? What do you see? Why you think you'll be able to do that?
Alright, so I apologize for
well, it's going to be a lot of work, but I think
here
I've done a good job of maintaining my body and
but I think I'd just go ahead and get
doing
my
the things
thoughts
necessary
on
to
the
stay
Adley
healthy.
pick.
So
It's been
I
an
think I'll be
no-brainer
good.
for over a year.
But I might defer to you on
He's
the
an
switch
extremely
hitting.
good switch
So.
catching catcher.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. You'll be better than me, trust me.
You can talk to Harold about it, but I want to bring in a guest who would probably like to say something to you. You probably already heard from him. Mike Elias, the Orioles general manager, joins us now.
He's up there definitely
Mike,
on the
good
best
evening to you on a big night. What would you like to say to your number one pick?
But he's easily the best player in the whole draft, so it's not surprising.
All right, Mike, tell me why he is the number one talent in this draft in your eyes.
Well, it's hard to know where to start for us. Get a switch it of his cap. But statistically, Africans summer, day, resume, match that up. Scouting report projects a plus bat with plus bat.
Yeah, Mike, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties with your microphone. We'll get back to you in a second. On a big night, we take Adley Rutschman with the number one overall pick. Congrats again to Adley. Adley, awesome. Enjoy this night with your family. You deserve it. Congratulations once again.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
All right, there you have him, the number one pick. This is a kid that you hung out with.
Yeah.
You went there, you met him.
Alright, just double checking you guys. Is this working?
Well, the
is
thing
this
that
good?
stood out was the talent. That's easy to see. You go to a game, you see who's talented, who's not, right? But to spend time with him and talk with him and see his personality. But what really impressed me the most was when he started talking about how he catches pitches. And how he,
Orioles pick is in, by the way.
To be able
so
to understand if I get a pitch a little bit further
we'll see how that
out
goes
of
here shortly. I'm looking through Twitter to see what the physical pick is, if it's been reported yet or not.
With how far that's come in our game and the importance of that, that tells you a lot about him, the student of the game, and where he's headed.
You know, I'm curious sometime when I get a chance to talk to him to find out how much he worked with his dad on a catching standpoint, what drill work they did, how much time they spent together, the focus of that particular position. You know, when you talked about expectations, Greg, when did Harold, he met yours, that's the thing that really stood out to me. To go into this year with that level of expectation on you to perform, and then perform the way that you surpassed it, shows you this young man's got some mental toughness too.
This is a big night for the Baltimore Orioles organization, but they're not alone. The Kansas City Royals are up next. They have the second overall.
Mail's 1 for 1.
I'm leaving right now. Bit of a layup. Find out who the Royals are taking at number 2.
With the second selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Kansas City Royals select Bobby Witt Jr., a shortstop from Colleyville Heritage High School, Colleyville, Texas. The Chicago White Sox have the next selection.
Yeah, baseball history has just been made. The Witts are now the highest drafted father-son duo of all time. His dad, Bobby Sr., was selected 3rd overall in 1985. Tonight, his son goes 2nd overall to the Kansas City Royals. That's the top high school player in this draft class. 2018 high school home run derby champion. Took an MVP honors at the Under Armour All-American game. We're going to chat with him in a second. But first, I know Bill Ripken's a fan of this pick. Bill, what do you think of Bobby Witt Jr.?
All right, so there you guys go. Bobby Witt to the Royals. I'll let Bill Ripken go ahead and do his spiel
when
here.
you see him, you'll understand it. This swing, it's fluid, it's effortless. Shortstop, I think he handles ground balls well. He moves his feet. He's got a good arm from short. I like his backhand. Game play, the willingness to put on a backdoor pick and get the out, I think is huge, but what you're really going to love is this guy at home plate. Ball one. I saw this up close and live personally. All right, he might have been a little anxious right there. 2-1. This is a great take as he spits on that. That is a great 3-1 hack at a heater, and I think he said, I might not get that again. Let's battle. That's a changeup. He fouls off 3-2. Heat piece away, he fouls it off. Breaking ball, he fouls it off. He's going to get a low fastball, foul it off, and then this. Bam! That's a hanging hook on a 3-2 count. Then he goes one row from leaving Wrigley. Come on now, wooden bat. Then a month later, the California boys come to town, his hometown of Arlington, California against Texas. What's he do? He goes bridge a couple more times right here. These are big league ballparks that he's putting an absolute display on. You see this award right here? He's going to have quite a few more of those awards in his future into pro ball.
Bill, thank you so much. Bobby Witt Jr., a high school shortstop, taking number 2 overall.
Bill Ripken
and the
basically
Kansas City Royals a year ago, their first 5
said what I was going to say.
They go with the top high school shortstop, and Bobby Witt Jr. joins us now.
He went higher than his dad,
Bobby,
so that's history there because his dad went 3.
Talked about your father, who I grew up watching pitch for the Texas Rangers. How much did he impact your baseball career to get you to this point tonight?
Oh, thank you for having me here, by the way, but then he's been there always for me, and just growing up, throwing me BP and everything. It's been a blessing to have him in my life and everything, and now I got him beat 2 over.
Bobby, it's Jonathan. I was actually going to ask you about having bragging rights there. So I want to talk to you a little bit about, you've had sort of a spotlight on you for a long time. You played as an underclassman at USA Baseball. How did you manage to handle that pressure and still continue to go out and perform, and more importantly, show the passion and the joy for the game that you always seem to show?
I kind of like the pressure and everything, but then just loving the game. I've grown up watching the game and everything, just watching big leaguers all the time and everything, and just knowing that my dad played in the big leagues, and that's what I want to do eventually when I grow up. And then now I have this opportunity here, so it's just truly been a blessing, really. And then got this huge support group here, and it's just amazing.
Hey, Bobby, it's Harold here. Hey, it's cool to be able to hang out with your dad, go to big league ballparks and all that, but at some point it's got to click for you. So when did it click for you that, hey, I got a chance to play in the big leagues and play pro baseball? When did that happen for you?
I feel like whenever I was kind of a little kid, it's just always been a dream of mine, and now the dreams are kind of turning into reality, and just watching the big leaguers and watching other guys and say, oh, maybe one day I can do that, and then just putting everything I can into my game to make that to where I'm at here. And so it's just been incredible success and everything, and hopefully I keep it going.
Hand your dad a tissue for me, okay?
I don't blame him. His little boy's all grown up with a number 2 overall pick. Bobby Witt Jr., congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
All right, this is no big secret that the Kansas City Royals have been all over Bobby Witt Jr. and bringing MLB Pipeline's Jim Callis. Am I right on that? The Royals have been a Bobby Witt Jr. Home and a future destination for quite some time.
Yeah, we felt like that was even a bigger lock at 2 than it was Rutschman at 1 necessarily. And Greg, I know you're a sucker for comparisons. You're always pestering me and Jonathan for comparisons. I've got one here for you. It's going to be the best comparison you hear all night. You ready? Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be to the Royals what Patrick Mahomes is to the Chiefs. Whoa. I got that comp from a scout. I don't want to out him as a source. I told him I was going to use that on TV. But it's a special player,
very weird
special talent, special makeup.
player
he
comp
can do
right
for the
there.
Royals what Patrick Mahomes has done for the Chiefs.
I don't even know if you say
So
player comp, just like
don't ask me for any more comps tonight. But I know you'd love that one.
You just blew
just
my
like
mind.
a
You took a comp
general and depth kind of comparison, but that's still very weird. I don't.
Top that one now. Let's go.
I don't know.
Don't peek early, Jimmy. Well
This is
done.
why I don't make comps, guys. By the way, I'm not very good at them.
Have you seen Mondesi?
I'm going to keep saying overnight, but I can't make comps to save my
in
life.
all of baseball. Now already at shortstop. So sit there and say, we know we have him. We're still getting this kid, Bobby Witt Jr.
But I'll go ahead and try and give my 2 cents here on Bobby Witt. As they said before, his dad was taken 3rd overall. and now he's gone second overall to the Kansas City Royals. He's going to be probably instantly the top prospect in that farm system, personally, and I feel like he's going to stay at shortstop when he gets to the major leagues. He's got a very good bat. He hit 500 plus in Texas, which, to be fair, you don't have that much competition, but that's still impressive to do in any conference in the nation, in my opinion. So I definitely love Witt. He's a top prep player that was in the draft, so we'll just go ahead with that. Personally, I feel like the power potential is going to come up with that, because that showed with Bill Ripken little segment there. He has very good approach at the plate, and when he gets the pitch he wants, he will crush it. He almost, like this video showed, he almost went out of Wrigley Field. So it's very interesting to see how he's going to develop. I personally think he's going to be in the minors for a little bit longer, especially considering that he is a prep prospect. But again, we'll see what happens. I don't expect him to be a fast riser like Singer is going to be when he got selected last year. But I was also talking pitcher to infielder, so there's definitely a difference in how you bring that player up. Anyways, the White Sox do have their pick in, so we'll go ahead and see what the White Sox do. This might be one of the first picks where you might be head scratching yourself there a little bit, but I feel like they go Vaughn here. If they don't go Vaughn, then they go Abrams, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens with that. And I'll try and answer your questions here too as I try to go through the comments here. I've been trying to, like, while they're trying to do their segment, I'm trying to let you guys watch it. I'm going to try and respond that way, but when I guess commercials or anything like this, we're just like a little bit downtime, we're just talking. I'll go ahead and get my 2 cents on everything. But yeah, so just trying to go through here. With the Cardinals at 19, I personally think they'll be going for a bat more than I think they'll be going for a pitcher, in my opinion. But again, beyond that, but beyond like 7 for the Reds, like from the Rangers on, it's just a guessing game at this point. So I'm not going to hold it against anyone if they do go for a pitcher. I feel like that'd probably be the best option, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens with that pick. But we still got a ways to go for that. Dodgers need to choose already so I can go to sleep. We're going to be here for a while, but we'll see what happens.
You decide who will advance to the MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 9th.
Yeah, I'll say again, once again, I feel like the White Sox go on here, and I'll just double check Twitter to see what they're saying. But I'll let you guys enjoy the commercials here while I look through Twitter to figure out what's going on here.
And a look inside the Chicago White Sox draft room. They're picking at number 3.
I'm looking for Kenny Williams in there. He's sitting there saying, somebody better not leak who we're picking.
Oh, good point. It is not like that. A year ago, they took an Oregon State baseball player, Nick Madrigal, with a 4th overall selection. This is a club with a really good farm system. They're ranked 6th according to Baseball America. They're loaded. It's interesting in terms of timing and draft picks. They look like they're right on the cusp of being great. So we'll see. Do they go with a college player to the podium?
With the 3rd selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Chicago White Sox select Andrew Vaughn, a first baseman from University of California at Berkeley. The Miami Marlins have the next selection.
How great is Andrew Vaughn? Last year he was the first non-draft eligible sophomore to win the Golden Spikes Award for best college player since Jim Abbott did it in 1987. He had 402 with 23 bombs, just 18 strikeouts. Eric Burns has more on the Chicago White Sox draft pick.
Hey guys, let me tell you something. I've been calling college baseball games since 2010, and I can say with great conviction that Andrew Vaughn is the best hitter that I've ever seen in that time. So what we have to do is go back and historically think about who are the greatest hitters that ever played in college. We're talking Robert Ventura, Pete Incaviglia, I think about Pat Burrell, maybe a Mark Kotsay. This dude just has it, and there's something about his swing path that is gorgeous. I saw him as a freshman, and he hit a foul ball. I turned to my broadcast partner, JB Long. I said, JB, wow, there's something about that swing. And he goes, what are you talking about? The next pitch, he drills down the right field line. Next day, first 2 homers of his college career, and then it was over after that. Andrew Vaughn has a special sort of swing that you can't teach. It's his incredible natural ability, and he could hit in the big leagues right now.
Burnsy, thank you. Yeah, he won the Golden Spikes Award. He's a finalist again this year. Keep in mind, he lost 4 guys from that Cal team last year that were a supporting cast. He still put up crazy numbers. Andrew Vaughn, many believe the best college bat, the best bat available in this draft class. He goes 3rd overall to the Chicago White Sox. Oregon State legend Pat Casey's with us tonight, and you coached against Andrew Vaughn, Pat. So tell me a story about facing a guy with a bat like this.
Well, I got to see him up close and in person, and sometimes I didn't enjoy that very much because this guy can flat out rake. Burns is right. You know, I remember him coming in as a freshman, and we're talking about we'll just go kind of up and in, get him to chase, go off, down, spin it, and you know, he's just a freshman, but he had nothing to do with that. He stood on line, he raked, he hits in all parts of the ballpark. We call him a PP guy. Hit the ball out of any part of any park. He's a special advanced hitter, knows how to control the strike zone, gets to join Nick Madrigal, going to play on the same side of the infield in the big leagues in a hurry. This guy can really, really hit, and he's a special guy. I know how much he has meant to the Cal program. I talked to Coach New, I talked to Coach Esker. Both those guys said special, special guy, and that they think he can get there in a hurry. Stays inside the ball very, very well. Balanced hitter. You know, you just don't see guys like this very often. And that I really think he's going to get there in a hurry. He's going to be a guy that not only will hit for power, they got him with an 80 power. I'm going to tell you, he's going to hit for high average.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give my 2 cents on Andrew Vaughn. As they're starting to move into the Marlins pick. Personally, Vaughn is going to be the fastest riser out of this draft class. Even if he went to the Royals or even went to the Tigers, he was going to be a replacement at first base for Miggy, in my opinion, there. And he could have fast-tracked with the Royals and been easily up there within about a year or so with the Royals. But with the White Sox, he's more than likely going to play back up to Abreu at first. And then he's going to be the inevitable replacement. But the bat is extremely legit. He can walk. He doesn't strike out much. He walks at a very high rate. He can hit for average. He can hit for power. Personally, I feel like he's going to be an all-around player at the big league level. So it'll be interesting to see how his bat overall compares to goes through the minors and goes through the majors as well. But there's no denying it. He'll be the fastest rider out of this draft class. It's been said that that will more than likely be the case if wherever he would have went with any team. So personally, it's a very good pick with them. But here's the Marlins up for number 4.
With the 4th selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Miami Marlins select JJ Bleday, an outfielder from Vanderbilt University. The Detroit Tigers have the next selection.
JJ Bleday. Yeah, he was a prospect after his sophomore season thanks to his dominance in his SEC pitching. He went to the Cape over the summer, named the league's top pro prospect. He had 26 home runs leading the nation. Now, we've got a special treat tonight. We've got great analysts. I believe the best analysts in all sports TV. But we kind of went outside the box, and we decided maybe we'll get a former Golden Spikes Award winner and Trevor Bauer to break down a few pitchers. And maybe we'll go get the greatest position player ever drafted to break down a few position players. And that's what we have for you tonight. Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. with his player's eye on JJ Bleday.
Wow. I'm interested in this.
All right, JJ. I'm over here looking at your video. Oh, yeah, he can swing it. Stays quiet. I'm just watching you hit off the lefty. How you stayed in there, kept your shoulder in. Played a little nice little right field right there. A whole lot stronger than I was at that age. I ain't had that. I'm a late developer. I didn't start having pop till like 27. Stay there. Stay right there. Don't do anything different. You know, you hitting the ball all fields, driving in runs. Look like, you know, play a solid right field. Just keep it going.
Someone JJ's losing his mind. Ken Griffey Jr. just broke me down. Are you kidding me?
That was an insanely good breakdown.
Really spiked this year, Dan O'Dowd. I know you're very high on this pick. You love the player.
Yeah, I love the kid. He's a multi-talented athlete. He's just starting to fill his body. I think there's more actually there.
That's actually really cool.
He's
I didn't expect him to do that tonight. Won't lie.
Really recognizes pitches early.
As you watch the little gap there from the graph is true.
Guy that can hit. And he uses, when he's really going good, he uses the entire ballpark, and he gets to the power easily, profiles well in either corner position of the outfield. He's exceptionally instinctive defensively, and for me, he's only going to continue to get better.
But the thing I like the most, I mean, we all knew he could hit, and the Marlins need offense. This is the guy that's going to fit in nice. But Griffey's saying he's going to stay in right field and plays a nice right field. He is very athletic. Last year, if you watch his swing, he's got a little bit of a hitch. I think he did a little bit of that to add some power because he didn't do that in the Cape. But this guy, whether he drops his hands, hitches, whatever he wants to do, I've watched a lot of guys be able to do that and still get back up top on balls.
All right, I'll go ahead and go through some of the comments here. Get my little 2 cents on Bleday. This has been connected for weeks, personally. They had Jeter and Posada both go out from the Marlins organization and watch him during the SEC tournament, so it wasn't a surprise that as he was rising up the draft boards, he would have went first, and he would have been the first outfielder college level to go. So it's not surprising at all that that happened. But I mean, this guy, he's got an amazing bat. Even on the video they had showing him next to Griffey, that was a very similar swing. I'm not going to say he's next to Ken Griffey, but that was a very similar swing. Plays some pretty good outfield as well, as I get a note from someone telling me that I told you so about Bleday about a couple weeks ago. So I'll own it to that one. But
because of the swing and miss questions there.
Yeah.
But I think 3 hitters, and then we have Nick Lodolo, who's our top pitcher on the board.
And I think you're going to see probably Riley Greene go with the next pick to the Tigers.
Yeah, Abrams as a project, yeah, I could definitely see Abrams as a project. I mean, any prep player is going to be a project at this point, in my opinion, because you got someone that's so young, you got to watch them develop, and if they don't develop, then that's, you know, that's obviously not a good thing. You got more of a connection with college players developing as you go through, but
congratulations, Andrew. First and foremost,
it's going to be interesting how that goes. I'll let the Andrew Vaughn thing go.
It's an unbelievable feeling, honestly. I'm just blown away by it.
But Detroit does have their pick in. I still think it's Riley Greene going.
When I put you side by side, you look a lot like Josh Donaldson with the leg kick and everything else. When did you incorporate that leg kick, and did Josh have any influence on that?
The biggest guy that had influence on me was actually Brett Cumberland, drafted 2 years ago by the Braves. I saw him in the cage one day, and I was like, hey, man, like, that leg kick, does it help you? And it really did, and helped him with his balance, so I wanted to add that to my repertoire.
What did it do for you?
It kept me balanced, kept me in my legs. I would come out of them in high school a lot, but now I stick in them a lot more better.
Andrew, it's Jonathan Mayo. Congratulations. You know, so much is made the fact that you're 6 foot and you're a right first baseman. How much do you use that as fuel to prove people that really doesn't make a difference in terms of how good you're going to be at the next level?
It puts a little chip on your shoulder. I mean, I'm not a big guy, obviously, but if I go out and swing the bat like I know how, good things can happen.
Well, Andrew Vaughn, we're expecting big things, man. We keep hearing about how great you are. Eric Burns says you're the best college hitter he's ever seen. Andrew, thank you so much, and congratulations once again.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate it.
The White Sox, that was their pick at number 3. We just saw Bleday go 4th overall. The Marlins selected him. Up next, the Detroit Tigers. A year ago, they had Casey Mize at number 1. It's their turn at the podium.
With the 5th selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Detroit Tigers select Riley Greene, an outfielder from Haggerty High School in Oviedo, Florida. The San Diego Padres have the next selection.
I mean, if you're a fan of a smooth left-handed swing, my goodness, does this kid have one. He's terrific. The Florida native was the top run producer for Team USA's 18 and under squad last summer. Led his high school team to a 24-5 record, including 23 straight wins. And Riley Greene is in our draft spotlight.
Riley Greene, outfield.
I'll let this go before I get my opinion on
I
Greene.
just love playing outfield. I love tracking balls down, make big plays. Sometimes we throw people out, so it's kind of fun. Probably Bryce Harper, just because he's a left-handed hitter like me. He's an outfielder like me. Our pregame meal is just a sandwich, game my jelly sandwich. Probably Freestyle by Lil Baby. Probably my favorite song. I just love the game of baseball, and it's what I want to do the rest of my life.
Can I throw up my first count for the night?
Well, you're going to.
Can't believe it's.
You're going to?
Can't believe it took this long. Come on.
Andre Ethier, man.
Yeah, good call.
I like it.
Andre, don't roll your eyes at Andre Ethier, by the way. Made over $115 million in his career, by the way. He's committed to the University of Florida. And
This
Bill
is
Lippman
why I
standing
don't
by to
make
break down
comps,
Riley Greene.
because they're kind of a bit out
That's right.
there.
We're going to take a closer look and a deeper look at Riley Greene and what he's all about. And I tell you, a lot of it has to do with this right here, this swing. Good-sized kid, effortless swing, ball goes a long way. Probably going to play one of the corner spots. I could certainly see him playing left field in the big leagues 4 or 5 years from now. This plays, though. Saw this one live. Fastball 95 away. Swing, okay, 1-1, even it up. That's a great take on a 97. Foul off 95. Spoils a 96. Some other big leaguers should learn from that. Then he gets a hanging piece, and he goes, where does he go? I'll tell you where he goes. He goes where Schwarber and Rizzo go. Here's a guy after his junior year in high school. Wooden
Love Bill
bat,
Ripken.
big league ballpark like Wrigley, and he goes up there. The draft is about projection. If a scout was in this ballpark and saw him do that in that ballpark, then they understand what projection's all about. How easy is it? This guy is going to be a hitter, and he's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Billy nailed that. He broke him down perfectly. I think.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give my 2 cents on Greene, because that's the first guy that I've actually scouted that's been drafted tonight. So, like I said, I went to National High School Invitational out in April. He's got the bat speed is there. The bat speed is definitely there. He's got the speed as well. He's got good speed. The defense, I didn't really get to see much of his defense personally, because I did miss the first game that he played because it was a 9:30 game on a Wednesday morning, and I had class and I had to go out there as soon as I was done. But the bat is definitely there. I feel like Bill Ripken said, he could be outfield, corner outfield spot, maybe left field, but he's got a great approach to the plate. There's a little nick in the swing, but other than that, he's got a very good follow through. He has the speed to be a good base running threat. But yeah, it's a pretty good pick from the Tigers, because they have gone pitching more recently. Because I remember they took my number 1 last year. He's already in Double-A, and then I think the year before they took Faedo. If my memory serves correctly, it was Faedo. So they've gone pitching. They've been pitching heavy recently, but taking Greene here kind of solidifies more the outfield spot. They got some pretty good outfield progress coming up. They have Christian Stewart. They have Brock Beefridge, who was a 10th round pick last year. And then they got a couple other guys that I feel like could be a pretty solid outfield pairing with him. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses. He'll still be about 4 years away, because again, he's a prep player. He's about, I think he's 18, so he will be kind of a project to go along with, but he's still going to be a solid back and watch through that system. I'm pretty excited for it. So. Yeah, and with what you said there, Richard Perez, Riley Greene does have a lot of upside. He's got probably some of the best upside of any, I wouldn't say the best upside in the draft, because obviously, of prep players, because obviously Witt's up there too. But in terms of prep outfielders, he's got the best upside out of any of them. But it'll be interesting to see how his defense plays in the majors, because he'll be more than likely be an important outfield. He did play right field when he was at NHSI, and the bat was loud. There was a couple at bats. I even posted that bat on my Twitter. That he went through. It was about a 4-pitch at bat. He had pretty solid contact, got down the line pretty well. I think it was like a 4-2 is what Carlos Palazzo next to me had on his stopwatch. And then the final out of the last game that he had there, he had a very loud out that we all thought was gone. So he's obviously got the power.
Chase down your passion. Never halfway.
There, I stopped talking. You happy?
White Sox, Nats, MLB Network's Wednesday afternoon baseball, live at 1 Eastern.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Anyways,
MLB
Padres, I feel like they're going to
Network's
take Abrams
Quick Pitch
here.
sifts through all the highlights and gives a look
Just my
ahead,
hunch.
all in one lightning-fast
So
hour.
we'll see what happens.
It's time well spent. Quick Pitch tonight at 1 a.m. Eastern, only on MLB Network.
Rock the All-Star ballot like never before. The 2019 Google MLB All-Star ballot's got an all-new format. Vote for your favorite players during the first round of voting at MLB.com/vote or on Google by searching for your favorite player or MLB All-Star vote. The top 3 players at each position will advance to a special election to determine the All-Star starters. You decide who will advance to the MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 9th in Cleveland. So vote today.
I mean, my gosh almighty, please, have the offense figure out a way to combat the defense.
If you can't beat him, join him. High Heat with Christopher Russo. All season long. Weekdays at 1 Eastern on MLB Network.
God, oh, please!
All right, 5 down. Take a look. Adley Rutschman did go #1 overall to the Orioles. That was Bobby Witt Jr. to the Royals. The White Sox take Andrew Vaughn. JJ Bleday goes #4 ahead of Riley Greene. And guess what, Dan? JJ Bleday joins us now.
JJ, it's Dan O'Dowd. Congratulations to you and the Vandy program. We're so excited for you.
Yeah, I'll let the Bleday interview go through full length.
In home runs. Did the jump in home runs just happen with body maturation, strength, or did you and Mike do some tweaking in your approach to make that happen?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think, you get more mature in the box, older, you feel more comfortable, allow your hands to, stretch yourself a little bit more. And, in the cage, you're able to hone in on your approach, know what you're doing wrong, and being able to get back to the middle, center yourself, and then try to get a little bit stronger later.
Hey, JJ, it's Harold here. First of all, congratulations. Hey, as you're going down the stretch, as your #1 pick, you got a lot of scouts following you, a lot of people knowing where you're going to fall. Pretty soon you got mock drafts showing up, and then Derek Jeter shows up to watch you play. What did you think of that day? You go 5 for 5, but what was that thought when you saw Derek in the stands?
I didn't really know until after the game. I know one of my teammates, Tyler Brown, patted me on the butt and said, hey, Jeter was going to stand watching me. I didn't really comprehend that until the game was over. But
Padres pick is in, by the way.
It's pretty cool. It's one of the guys you look up to, when you're a younger player. It's a cool opportunity.
Man, that kills my story. I thought, you looked around, you saw him there, and you said, all right, I got to put on a show. You ruined my story.
No, he didn't ruin it. He didn't ruin it because JJ, guess what, JJ, he's going to watch you play a lot more. So you'll know that, and then you can go 5 for 5 for the Marlins. JJ Bleday, congratulations once again.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, there you have it. JJ Bleday goes 4th overall to Miami. You're looking inside the draft room, the San Diego Padres. They're up next at #6. They're all wearing red jackets. Well, they're all wearing red jackets in honor of Don Welke.
Yes.
Was the Padres' longtime scouting vice president who passed away in 2018. It's their turn at #6. Let's go to the podium. With the 6th selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the San Diego Padres select C.J. Abrams Jr., a shortstop from Blessed Trinity High School in Roswell, Georgia. The Cincinnati Reds have the next selection. Oh, the Padres add to the #1 farm system in baseball. C.J. Abrams is a game changer. One of the fastest players in this class. He stole over 100 bases during his high school career. There he is in the state of Georgia, celebrating with family and friends. Harold, I know you're a big fan of this kid.
Well, he's fun to watch. He's got great size, about 6'1", 6'2", right there. Very fluid defensively. I really like getting a chance to talk with him. Carried himself so well. But let's just go to video. Check it out, all right? You ready? So the big thing to me, you always want to try to comp these kids. And as he's swinging the bat and I watched him run and put the combination together, I was like, who's he remind me of? He's a little taller, but he reminded me of Zoom Zoom. Yeah, Gerard Dyson. That type of game-changing speed this young man has. One of the fastest guys in the draft, and he will be one of the fastest guys in baseball once he signs that contract. That kind of speed. But you're wondering, can he play short? I watched him take ground balls. A lot of people talked about shortstop, moving the outfield. I'm like, what is wrong with these people? The hands are sweet. He gets rid of the ball. The question is, will he have the arm strength to play out there at shortstop. We will see. And if not, there's a great option to move to second. But I do not see him.
Well, that is a question. That is an interesting question. Carlos Collazo of Baseball America is something I'm sure that you've been asked an awful lot as you look at this young man, C.J. Abrams, going 6th overall to the San Diego Padres. Defensively, do you see him as a true through shortstop?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest question with him. Obviously, as Harold was talking about, he's an outstanding runner, an 80-grade runner. So I think if he doesn't play shortstop at the next level, he would be a fantastic center fielder. He's a guy who played center field for USA's 18U national team, and he really hadn't played it that much prior to that. But he took to it like a natural. I think I've had some comps with him as a Billy Hamilton type, and I think that fits well, but I feel like he has more offensive upside. He's probably going to start off at shortstop, though.
All right, Carlos, thank you. You know, Dan, I wonder, when you have the #1 farm system in the sport, you're not really looking for quick to the big leagues type of talent. You can see if this guy, take time with him at shortstop. They've got roadblocks of talent in that farm system right now.
Yeah, well, no doubt. But again, philosophically, is taking the best player that's on the board, no matter where you are and your farm system is. It just adds to the incredible depth that the Padres have done. They've done a wonderful job in their amateur scouting.
If he's a center fielder, is he worthy of the 6th overall selection?
I don't think that really hurts his value that much. He's still up the middle. You need a guy in center field who can cover a lot.
All right, I'll go ahead and
give
give my little spiel on C.J. Abrams here. Kind of like what Carlos Collazo said. He does have the projection later on in his career, in the minor league career, that he will go probably to center field, kind of like B. Gordon did. But personally, the defense that I saw from him at NHSI, there's a chance he does stick at shortstop longer than most people would expect. Then of course with the speed, he's got 80-grade speed, so he's insane. He's got insane speed.
But I watched this kid. One thing I've learned,
and that kind of works out well when he does move to center field eventually. But right now, I feel like he's going to stay at short. The bat is also there. He didn't have that many. He had pretty good at bats in NHSI. He does have a little bit of strikeout problems. I know he had a couple strikeouts in NHSI, but the potential is definitely there. He is going to be blocked, though, more than likely in that Padres system, because they have a glutton of middle infield prospects that are coming through that system right now, and I feel like if they try and rush him, he's going to go through.
And that's why I think we're going to see high school.
That's just my spiel on C.J. Abrams. Next time, I'm more than likely thinking that the Reds will go pitcher here. Now, he is
we don't know yet.
It's going to be the lowest pitcher taken in terms of positioning, since Ricky Romero went to the Blue Jays at 6th overall. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I'll let you guys enjoy the video here.
He's been there all along. He's the best college pitcher in terms of consistency. And so we'll see. I think that's why most people think we're going to have a little run of pitchers here in the next 4 or 5 picks.
Now, when you look at a guy like Lodolo and you look at the other position players that are still out there, if you're going best available talent, is he the cream that rises to the top?
Without having the talent rankings in front of me, it's close. I mean, Lodolo was right up there in terms of where we have him ranked. And now maybe that's because there's a dearth of pitching prospects, so he moves up. But based on just his talent, this is a guy, a 3-year starter at a really, really good college program with a track record of success.
I think this is where the draft starts to get murky. I think
this is
all
where the
of us
fun
could
begins.
make a compelling argument about a lot of different players as we start at this spot of the draft, all the way through possibly the end of the draft tonight.
Because there are plenty of options.
Correct.
Take a look at let's go to Studio 21. That's where the big board is. Our guys are standing by. The best available. Carlos, Jim, what do you have?
Yeah, well, I think that there's going to be a run of college players coming up here. We do think Nick Lodolo is going to be the next player off the board, but you do see a number of college players who we think are the best available, and we've kind of thought that there could be a little run of those players here. There's some interesting high school players who might jump in there. Brett Beatty is a name that I would point to that could work, but I do think we're going to see some pitchers now.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of a panic. We've talked about how there's a shortfall of college pitchers in this draft. I think Lodolo is going to go 7. The MLB board is very similar to the BA board. Then I think we're going to see Alek Manoah, Jackson Rutledge, Zach Thompson go very quickly.
All right, Jim, Carlos, thank you. It's time to go back to find out who the Reds are taking at number 7.
With the 7th selection of the 2019 MLB draft, the Cincinnati Reds select Nick Lodolo, a left-handed pitcher from Texas Christian University. The Texas Rangers have the next selection.
Well, Nick Lodolo rolled the dice in 2016 by not signing with the Pirates after they drafted him 41st overall. It's safe to say his decision paid off. Tonight he goes 7th overall to the Cincinnati Reds. And he is in Trevor Bauer. Yeah, Trevor Bauer of the Cleveland
Ooh, it's going to be fun.
Player's eye. Watch this.
Nick Lodolo, 6'6" lefty out of TCU, 90 to 94 fastball, changeup, slider type of guy. The first thing I noticed when looking at his video is he's biomechanically very efficient, does a lot of things very well. The shoulder-hip separation, the way his front leg blocks, transfers energy very, very well. I can see him being an immediate candidate for added velocity when he gets into pro ball, adds a little bit of strength, and the delivery reminds me a lot of Cole Hamels. So I see some of that upside with him. It'll be interesting to me what organization drafts him and what direction they choose to go with him developmentally. I can see him profiling somewhat like Blake Snell in the big leagues, but regardless, whichever organization gets him, whichever fan base gets him, I'd be extremely excited for his future.
Wow. Done. Trevor Bauer, thank you so much.
That was a really good analysis from
Nick
Bauer.
Lodolo, the first pitcher
That was very
drafted in
good.
2019, going 7th overall to the Cincinnati Reds. Pat Casey, coaching legend at Oregon State. And there's so many of these college guys. You make phone calls, you talk to a lot of your friends, Pat. Do you view this guy as a future ace?
I like this guy.
I'll go ahead and get my little spiel on Lodolo too. So yeah, this is a former first-round pick from 2016. He actually decided to not sign with the Pirates at 41st overall that year, and he went to TCU, and now he's followed himself up to the top pitcher taken in 2019, which is really, really good for him. Personally, he is the best pitcher in this draft class. He does hit 94, 95, but he usually sits low 90 fastball. He has a very good breaking ball, and he does have a changeup. Doesn't use it as much. I know with the comp that Bauer used in Hamels, doesn't have the high leg hit like Hamel does, so he doesn't use the changeup as much. But that's still a very good comparison from Bauer, in my opinion, and that's also still a very good pick from the Reds. And I feel like he'd be a very good middle rotation starter. Maybe he could be the ace, but like I said before, this is a weak pitching class. There's not really going to be many players that are going to come out here as the solidified ace of the future. So it'll be interesting to see how he progresses through the system. I feel like he'll do very well. He, like Bauer said, he has potential for adding more velocity to that frame. I feel like he probably could be someone that hits 96, 97 later on in the future. He'll probably sit in the 90s, but we'll see what happens with that.
You're not alone.
But
I used to have a limited selection of shows.
I'm pretty sure this is where the draft starts to get very, very interesting. Because it used to be, for a couple weeks, we had Hunter Bishop was mocked to Texas for a while. Then that kind of changed.
What was that?
It will be very interesting to see how this one goes. I feel like this is where my mock draft starts to go a little bit downhill. I've been perfect so far.
Sign up for DirecTV and get HBO included for a year. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
While America celebrated the fall of Prohibition, Jim Beam didn't raise a single glass. He wanted his first drink to be of his own bourbon. He didn't have much money, but he did have a few friends, people who were raised the right way. Over 120 days, they rebuilt the distillery. And while their names might not be on our bottle, it's because of them we can raise this bourbon today. Jim Beam, raised right.
This season, T-Mobile is partnering with Little League to make sure every kid can feel like an all-star. With T-Mobile, parents across the country can share the action, the highlights and the lowlights. And the stars of tomorrow get a chance to shine today. From Little League to the big leagues, T-Mobile has you covered. Now connecting 99%.
The stream's doing better than I thought it would go tonight. Thank you guys for coming out. I really do appreciate it. I'm just going through the comments now. Rangers probably go with Bishop. I do agree there. I think I mocked differently though, and that's just. I want to say Oh no, actually I did put this up at 8. I thought it was Josh Young. I was thinking of the Baseball America mock from earlier today, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. But it's going to get interesting from here on out.
The Texas Rangers, according to Baseball America, the 20th.
But their pick is in, so we'll see how this goes.
An organization that last year's chose right-hander Cole Winn, 15th overall.
I'm just hoping the Rangers don't have any injury problems with this pick, because they've had a lot of injury problems with their recent first-round picks. I know Cole Winn has had Tommy John surgery again, and there's a couple others that have had Tommy John surgery as well. So
looking forward to the next pick as we're about to find
hopefully this is a trend for something better for the Rangers.
With the 8th selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Texas Rangers select Josh Jung, a third baseman from Texas Tech University. The Atlanta Braves have the next selection.
There goes perfection.
Josh Young, I mean, the numbers last year, he had a historic season for Texas Tech. Hit over 390, 80 RBIs. He was a marked man this year. Heading into regionals, he was hitting 332, only 332. 11 home runs, 53 RBIs, and he's in our draft spotlight. Watch this.
I'm Josh Young, third baseman from Texas Tech University. As a player, I'm big into preparation. One of my big things is the mental part of the game. I model my game after Brooks Robinson, won a lot of gold gloves, and I try to strive for that. People might not know that I read a lot, inspirational books, mental aspect game books. My pregame meal is a large Italian sandwich from Potbelly. I'd say my biggest superstition is when I get in the batter's box, I talk to my bat.
No, he's not kidding. He has a conversation with his bat for a while, and all of his teammates are dying to know what he says. He will not divulge that information. He's got one of the best.
It's aluminum.
It's working. Hey, our own Mike Lowell, man, the hot corner for a long time in the big leagues, has more on Josh Young.
I can't be mad at this pick.
Guys, let's take a look at what the 6'2", 215-pound third baseman brings to the table. Basically, prototypical corner infield body, nice, powerful lower half. What I like about this guy, he has plus power here, driving the ball to left field. Also rates very well using the whole field here. Nice swing to right center. He has a very simple approach, and what I like about this is, although it's simple, he generates a lot of power. Big, strong kid. Defensively, although his speed is not his forte, he does have a plus arm, and he does evaluate and project to remain at third base. A lot of guys you see might have to change positions, but not this guy. He's a guy that with that plus bat could really move up a system quickly. Back to you guys.
Hey, this guy is a bat. He's a bat that could hit in the middle of the order. He's a guy that Coach Tadlock loves, says he calls him all the time, wants him to open the cage. He's a cage rat. Another coach in the conference said this, which I think is an unbelievable compliment. He said, you want this guy 100 out of 100 times as a teammate. He will play. He'll play the game very aggressively. He uses the entire field. Going to have future power. I think they want him to pull the ball a little bit more. I think if he does that, he's really going to have some pop. But this is a good player.
Yeah, no, this is a high-end bat. Pat, thank you very much. Jim Callis, I'm tired
of my little spiel
power tool,
on Josh Young.
Indoor, no one saw the power coming.
He's hit for 3 years with Texas Tech, and he's a very good third baseman. He probably won't stay there when he projects go through the system,
I won't go
but
35. I'll go at least 25, Greg, and I'm with you. I'd rather see the guy who
it'll be interesting to see what happens with that pick. I don't really have much on him. I didn't even pay attention to him much. He's a very good hitter, and he hit through 3 years. Most players will flash if they
once
hit
we
like
stop
that.
talking about Rutschman and Vaughn, Josh Young is the third best all-around hitter in the college ranks and one of the 5 best in this draft. I thought he was a little bit underrated, but obviously not if he's going number 8. And let's take a quick look at the MLB.com best available college position player board. This is one of the strengths of the drafts. Still a lot of quality players on here. I think Shea Langoliers is going to go next to the Braves. We have him as the 10th best player in the draft as a whole. I'll be a little interested to see where Hunter Bishop and Bryson Stott are going to go because there's so much position player depth that those guys might last a little bit longer than expected. It sounds like that may happen here.
Jim Callis giving us the best available. Thank you so much. The Atlanta Braves are up next, and they've got a first draft with Dana Brown as their scouting director.
I know the Braves have to pick in, but I know someone asked who I got next. Next, I got Jackson Rutledge, so you might see a little bit of a pause in me talking here since he is in the crowd. That's just who I got. So we'll go ahead and do that now.
With the 9th selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Atlanta Braves select Shea Langoliers, a catcher from Baylor University.
Oh.
The San Francisco Giants have the next selection.
The last time the Braves took a position player with their first pick, it was a kid named Austin Riley in 2015. I'd say that's panning out right now. Shea Langoliers, you know what's interesting about this guy? It's all about timing. In the regionals, don't worry, he had 3 home runs and 11 RBIs in 1 game. Joe Girardi has more on this backstop.
Guys, Shea's a defensive wizard. He won the Gold Glove in 2018 for college catchers. He threw out nearly 70% of the runners. In 2019, he's thrown out 56%. His offense, it's gotten better each year, and he's going to continue to grow in that area. Let me show you what I'm talking about. As we look at him behind the plate, he not only knows how to lead a staff, as you can see, he's an outstanding thrower with a great arm. I'm talking about a plus arm. Watch him block these balls. He keeps them in front, doesn't go far away from him. He's soft when he receives the ball. Offensively, he gets into his legs. He lets the ball get deep. He's a line drive hitter, which will eventually grow into plus power, I believe. And when you talk about framing pitchers, he's as quiet as there is, and he gets a lot of low strikes for his pitchers. And that is something that is measured in the big leagues and is cherished. So I believe that Shea's going to be a long-time big league catcher that plays very well defensively and is a plus offensive player as well.
Yeah, I mean, Adley Rutschman, we talked about his plus defense. Shea Langoliers might actually be a better defender than Adley Rutschman, only by a little bit, but he can really catch and throw, as Joe pointed out. And the bat really started to come along. He had a hamate injury that he came back from much more quickly than most mortals would. So I think he's going to hit more than enough, and that's why I think we saw him go this high, because the bat really started to come along as he was going through the season, especially in postseason play. And I have to give
so I'll give my 2 cents on Langoliers. Like I said, he had a hamate injury in the beginning of the year. He came back quicker than most would come from that injury, because that's an injury that held out like Pablo Sandoval and Giancarlo Stanton for a while.
You're going to look at the defense, and Jonathan, I'm with you. I think he's
and he's a defensive wizard. I mean, he's the best defensive catcher in the draft.
I think he's a future Gold Glover,
and
I do think there's more bat in there.
I mean, it's clear to tell. Adley's probably a close second, but personally, you get Langoliers the greatest defensive grade out of that. He's a very good bat as well. Had some helium as well, because like I said earlier, he had 11 RBI game in the NCAA tournament the other day. So that probably raised his stock, and there's been talk of him going to the Braves for a while, so I probably should have got that on my Diamond Digest mock, which you can read on the Diamond Digest site if you want to go ahead and do that now. But I went 7 for 7 before I lost the last 2, so it'll be interesting to see how this one goes.
Jonathan and I both did a couple of years ago, I think when Matt Manning was the 9th overall pick. So Zach Collins got us at 10.
You're very humble.
Well, I'm worried about pick 10 here. I stay focused.
Thank you,
my mock in a nutshell.
We heard Joe Girardi talk about him. I know you're a fan of Langoliers.
Well, Joe loves him. I mean, Joe was raving about him, but he's raving about the bat, and he said the power will come. And everybody's talking about the 3-homer game the other night. Let's just take a look at it. I mean, playoff game. He came back, like you said, what was that, Mayo, 3 weeks with the hammock bone?
Something like that.
All right, this guy had 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, 5 for 6 in a playoff game. Not bad to send his team a little into the next game, next round. So pretty impressive stuff from him on the offensive side. But his money's the defense, Dan. Catch and throw with the best of them. I think if you dropped him in a major league game right now, he could catch and throw with any big leaguer. He's that good.
Yeah, good energy level behind the plate too, but interesting because there's a lot of other really talented players on the board. This is a really safe
pick is in for the Giants, so I feel like they go Bishop here, in my opinion.
There's some other guys though that have maybe a little bit more upside.
I think I have Noah on the mock. Yeah, I have Noah on the mock, but I think they go Bishop here to get his best player available right now.
Braves pitching. They got a ton of young pitching in the minor leagues. So you just got a dynamic defensive catcher.
Come with him,
right? Yeah. And not that you pick for need, but they don't have a lot of top-level catching in that system. So he automatically goes in and is the best catching.
Why don't you pick for need? I know it takes a little while.
Well, because it's too far away. I mean, in terms of need within your organization or at the big league level, you just don't do it. When you're picking in the top 10, you take who you think is the best player. And they thought Shea Langoliers was that guy.
We'll see the Giants decide who the best player is. They're picking at number 10. First-year scouting director Michael Holmes is in that room. Their farm system is ranked 28th by Baseball America. Second overall last year was Joey Bart. as you see Lee Smith.
Lee Smith.
We're going to see him in Cooperstown. I cannot wait for that. He's representing the San Francisco Giants. Tell me to find out who they're taking.
With the 10th selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the San Francisco Giants select Hunter Bishop, an outfielder from Arizona State University.
From Palo Alto, California, so he's staying.
The Toronto Blue Jays have the next selection.
Well, this is a guy that really improved his game in 2019. He went from a 250 average with 5 home runs as a sophomore to an average around 350 with 22 long balls this year. He's a 6'5" center fielder, and Eric Burns can't get enough of Arizona State's finest, Hunter Bishop.
Hey guys, I absolutely love this pick. Now you have to understand I might be a little biased because I've known Hunter since he's been this big. But what I've watched is him finally fulfill his potential. This potential has been there for a while. I had a chance to watch him as a freshman at ASU. He had a lot of moving parts. He wasn't quite developed physically yet, but he has gone from being a boy to an absolute man-child. He slaughtered it in the Pac-12 conference this year against some of the premier pitchers in the country by simplifying his approach. He made it very simple. This guy plays all 3 outfield positions. He plays them very well. And when you talk about Hunter Bishop going forward, it's just a matter of time before this dude is a perennial all-star in the big leagues. Hunt, time is now, buddy. Proud to call your name.
Burns has been fired up about Hunter Bishop quite a long time. I mean, the guy looks like a movie star. He's going to go to San Francisco. The fans will eventually love him. Just 20 years old, but he's what they look like, 6'5", 210 pounds. You know, Pat Casey, Oregon State baseball coaching legend, is with us. And are you surprised to see the level of improvement from this kid from 2018 to this year, which led to him being drafted 10th overall?
Well, probably not surprised because you can see the tools. I mean, the tools are off the chart. You got a guy that's 6'5", 210, runs a 6'4", 60. Talked to Coach Smith, said he had some of the highest exit velocity recorded this year off his bat and has done some things that he's never seen done on the field. And Coach
I'll give my little spiel on Bishop like I will for every player.
Had with him earlier was swing and miss.
Yeah, this is a very good pick from the Giants. There was buzz that he might fall a little bit because I did have him mocked to 8 to the Rangers. And there's buzz going around. I saw this from Carlos Palazzo and JJ from Baseball America just now. This is a very, very good pick for the Giants. I feel like he might rise very quickly in this system, and it's going to help the system a lot. He's going to be a top prospect in that system immediately. And yeah, I mean, he's got raw power. He's probably got some of the best raw power in this draft class, in my opinion. So he's going to be a fun one to watch in the majors, I do believe. And that Arizona State team is still very good. They still have a 1-1 guy next year with Spencer Torkelson. So they might have back-to-back years of top 10 picks, basically. But I think going forward here, I feel like Manoah's probably going to go here at 11 to the Blue Jays, and then we'll start seeing some more of the college pitchers go down the order. Then the real fun starts after that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Our research down in the comments here. I know I already directed you, Travis, but like I said, it's going to be tough to make that trip to Rome. Just with how busy I am, I work full time, and plus go along with this, I'm trying to get everything done. I'm going to school again, so it'll be tough. But I can watch live streams. I live in Raleigh, so I can go watch the Mudcast and watch the Bulls. So it'll be fun to see them play, because I know they had a very stacked team a couple years ago.
So Kim, you going for a big drive safe and save discount?
And then Daniel Espino, I don't see Espino going for another 10 plus picks, in my opinion. He's still a first round talent, but it's kind of with with prospects like that, like if you compare him to Tyler Kolek, kind of have a little bit concerned with how hard he throws, basically, because you never know how that's going to translate with walks to the major league level or anything like that, or how far he's going to progress with stuff like that. So he's always a risk, but he's still got the talent of any first rounder that you could ever physically see. So, and then to answer my man Evan, Mets are probably going to go college pitcher. It's either going to be Manoah if he gets past the Blue Jays here. If not, it's probably going to be Zach Thompson, in my opinion.
MLB.com/vote or on Google by searching for your favorite player.
Bryson Stott, I feel like he might. I think I have him mocked to the Phillies at 14. Yeah, I have him locked down there. Also, I do have Mick coming on the stream here shortly, so we're going to have a little bit of fun setting that up. Yeah, my next run going through, I had Jung to the Blue Jays at 11, so that's probably going to be Noah now. Then we have Thompson. I have Langoliers at 13 to the Twins, so that's always going to change. I don't know who they'll probably end up taking. I feel like they might go college arm, I don't know. But they might go Bryson Stott.
The draft rolls on. The Toronto Blue Jays are up next. The Jays, a team with a lot of talent. I'll talk about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's up in the big leagues now. They set to replenish that farm system. Tonight, representing the Toronto Blue Jays, a guy that played in the big leagues for 10 years, 9 with the Blue Jays. Willie Upshaw this year was a 5th rounder by the Yankees back in 1975. Good to see Willie in Studio 42 on this draft night as the Toronto Blue Jays get set to take the 11th overall selection to the podium to go.
With the 11th selection of the 2019 MLB draft, the Toronto Blue Jays select Alek Manoah, a right-handed pitcher from West Virginia University. The New York Mets have the next selection.
This guy's huge. 6'6", 260 pounds, and Miami native, led the Cape Cod League in strikeouts. He carried that over into this season, highlighted by a 34 1/3 inning scoreless streak. Our Hall of Famer John Smoltz has more on the big right-hander Alek Manoah.
Well, this pick comes with a big package, and that big package I'm talking about is 6'6", 260 pounds, of a guy who will go downhill with a long arm delivery and an athletic delivery with his fastball. Fastball plays anywhere between 94 and above, and certainly he goes downhill. You can see he's an athletic big guy, and he's got basically a 2-pitch mix. The slider plays against right-handers and left-handers. He's been able to change the break on this pitch, and I think as the future unfolds, the ability to bring along a third pitch will be the key to see if he stays in the rotation. I think for Alek Manoah, he pitches with so much emotion that you can be assured that wherever he pitches, you're going to get a guy that puts everything he has into his craft.
So the Blue Jays take the second pitcher selected on this night, and he comes at number 11, Alek Manoah. Jonathan Mayo, I was reading that he studied video of Dylan Betances and Chris Sale to pick up a slider to go along with that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Is that true?
Well, there aren't that many big guys that you can look at of his size that it makes sense. And and he did do that, and he is a student of the game. He learned a lot in that Cape Cod stint, and he did carry it over. This is a guy who was really inconsistent at the beginning of his career, much more consistent this year. There are still some questions about the command. It's hard to repeat your delivery when you're that big, and I think that is going to be the biggest issue for him, along with the development of that third pitch, whether or not he stays in the rotation or ends up in the back end of a bullpen.
Yeah, I want to go to Jim Callis here. Jim, is there safety in a pick like this? Because you look at a guy, and you don't want to just think reliever picking at number 11, but he could be a dominant reliever if he can't get the command together to be a frontline starter.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case, and there's, I think, more value placed on relievers than in the past as starters are pitching fewer innings. But you're right, if he can't keep the body in sync and throw enough strikes or quality strikes to be starter, I mean, this guy might be upper 90s with a wipeout slider, pitching an inning at a time. I actually like the changeup. He doesn't use it as much. John Smoltz showed one of them in his breakdown, but I think he's got some feel for a changeup. So you got the potential for 3 picks. It's all going to just be about keeping everything in sync on a consistent basis, which is hard when you're 6'6", 260. Not a lot of big leaguers were that size.
Yeah, but it's cool. 6'6", 260. That's imposing, Jim. Thank you. Hey, Harold, you're the only one on this desk that stepped in the batter's box.
I'll go ahead and do my Manoah talk now.
He looks like an
he's a tank.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's
260 pounds. He's extremely good, too. He's got a fastball slider combination that's obviously one of the best in the draft. And his changeups is coming along. It's got a little bit of ways to go, but if he is going to succeed as a starter at the major league level, he's going to need that third pitch to come up. and he was a converted reliever. And as a starter, he did very, very well. There's a stretch in the middle of the season where he threw 27 innings, gave up less than 10 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 41 strikeouts. When this kid is on, he is on, and he is going to be very potent. It's just be a question of his size affecting how his delivery is going to progress as he goes to the minors or anything like that. But the Mets have the pick in. I would assume they go Zach Thomason here, so I'll go ahead and be quiet, and we'll try and get Nick on the stream here soon.
So here we are, 11 through. I'm still wondering, did Jim Callis get the 10th pick?
He did not, but he did get the 11th, so he's 10 out of 11 right now.
How about this? 4 of the last 5 picks are Big 12.
Ooh, that is interesting. Hey, look inside the New York Mets draft room. Relating to the New York Mets, great news. Our colleague Ron Darling released a statement today saying his thyroid cancer has been stabilized. He's going to return to the booth for SNY tomorrow night. That is fabulous news.
Yes, it is.
And I know everyone in that room is happy to see that.
I'm glad he's back.
You see their table here tonight, the New York Mets, selecting 12th overall. This is a farm system ranked 19th, according to Baseball America. Their top 5 prospects, according to MLB.com, all position players except for one lefty. Let's find out who they're picking.
With the 12th selection of the 2019 MLB draft, the New York Mets select Brett Beatty, a third baseman from Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas.
Oh.
Beatty enjoying a moment of a lifetime right here. Selected by the New York Mets, the 12th overall pick. Jonathan, tell me, you're a big fan of this kid, high school bat, a lot of projectability here, right?
Yeah, well, he can really hit. He's going to have a ton of power. Yeah, there were some questions leading in because he's a little old for his class, and there are models that these players have run through that some teams weren't going to like. But after, you know, the bats, the high school bats that we've seen so far, he's the best high school bat. I mean, he's got...
Well, couldn't you make an argument now, Jonathan, that he's the best bat-power combination in the high school?
I think that's absolutely right, because Riley Greene right now is more hit over power. We think the power is going to come. He's got both right now. Whether he plays third long-term, whether he moves to first, I don't care. I think he's going to hit.
Oh, he's a Texas kid, and he's going to the New York Mets. Kevin Millar isn't a Texas kid. Now he lives in Texas, and he comes to New York all the time. He has more on Brett Beatty.
All right, thanks, guys. Brett Beatty. When we talk about a third baseman in high school, the size, the power, the zone, he has the whole package right here. And I'm going to show you this kid. This is power. This is a swing, probably the best swing in the draft, college or high school. But you look at the load, you look at, and I look at legs. I mean, in high school, you don't find kids that are built this way. This right here was dead center, wind blowing in, went in person to see him, Lake Travis High School in Austin, Texas. He's an older senior. He's 19 and a half, but I'm telling you what, this swing plays, and boys, if you're drafting him, he could be up there in 2 years.
Thank you, 1-5, Kevin Millar. Joining us here on draft night. Brett Beatty, 6'3", 218 pounds. What was
Kevin went to his game, man. That's impressive. He's Freddie Freeman with power.
Ooh, I wonder if he knows.
Oh, I actually kind of like that comp.
Thankfully, Kelly Nash is on the floor here at Studio 21 with Brett.
So I'll let the interview go now. I'll talk a little bit about Beatty before next week comes in for the Twins.
Brett Beatty, what do you think of the New York Mets taking you here?
I'm just so happy to be picked right now. I'm thankful to get the invite to the draft, and I'm just so happy right now. I can't even explain it.
Everyone here right now, everyone watching on national television, I mean, they're witnessing one of the best moments of your life. How surreal is it?
Yeah, it's so surreal right now. I'm just grateful to have my family and friends here to celebrate it with me, and they've had so much support for me over the years. I'm just so excited right now.
Yeah, what is it like to have them here, your day ones, getting to share this moment?
Yeah, it's amazing because, like I said, they've shown so much support for me over the years, and it's amazing to have them here and to celebrate with them. So.
To be in this position, a testament to your hard work. It's all paying off.
Yeah, I've put in so many hours. My dad has thrown so many hours of BP to me. My mom's done so much laundry. My sister's been there right there with me, and I've just put in so much hard work to get to this point, and it's just amazing right now.
Congratulations, you earned it.
Thank you so much.
Greg, one of the best pure hitters in this draft, Brett Beatty.
All right. I love it. Kelly, thank you so much.
Tell you what, the thing I love about him coming here, if we get a shot of that scrum over there, he's getting an introduction to the media real quick.
Oh, the New York media.
Yes, because they're all here.
Different animal.
Beautiful.
Oh, Harold, don't stress the kid out already about New York media.
Very rarely do you see a high school kid that, one, controls the strike zone like he does. Number two, has plus hit ability and plus power. And so, I mean, the only concern on him from an evaluation standpoint is really.
So let the evaluation go on here with the grades there. The power is, he has some of the best raw power of any prep player in this class. Him saying, or Harold saying that
and it's the desire that
he's a Freddie Freeman more power. It's kind of insinuating Freddie Freeman doesn't have power when he does. So it's weird from him to be saying that, but Harold's also a little bit of a wild card when it comes to that. But I mean, Beatty's a good pick. He's got the power. He's got a great bat. It's just the defense. I don't think he stays at third. He might move around the infield. He might be a corner outfield spot. No,
so if he can play that corner position,
he's gonna be a fun kid to watch. I didn't expect that pick. I thought he'd go.
That's a good hitter.
You know, I even look back at my mock. I forgot to leave him out. I left him out, so that's on me. But I would have put him at least somewhere in the top 15, somewhere about 10, 15, maybe a little bit after.
Yeah, and not doing a terrible job.
So yeah, it's a very good pick, in my opinion.
Minnesota is on the clock.
And we're going to try and get Mick on here.
And don't worry, superstitious Twins fans. 13 isn't an unlucky number in the draft. In 1971, the Angels make Frank Tanana their choice at 13, while the Indians plucked Manny Ramirez with their 13th pick in 1991. And the White Sox took Chris Sale at 13 in 2010. Who will the Twins take with their 13th pick? We'll find out next.
Whoa, suddenly. What do you do while you wait for that no-name charcoal to light, brother? Arts and crafts. Choose the charcoal worth your flame. Fastest lightning, longest burning. For the way barbecue should taste. Kingsford.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a parking splat. Flyby ballooning.
Oh, no!
Rooftop parking. And even a hidden drone.
Relax, it's just a bug.
That's not a bug! That's not a bug! And we covered it. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I'll play around with this a little bit real quick. So give me 1 second, guys.
It's more than who you are. It's who you're with. And it's more than what you do. It's where you do it. Tin Cup Mountain Whiskey.
If Old Spice sweat defense helps keep me feeling dry, how would they know I worked hard? I've got to make stuff harder. There, that's hard.
See Twins, Indians, MLB Network's Tuesday Night Baseball, live at 7 Eastern.
Get up for a full day of baseball on MLB Central, featuring an all-star lineup of hosts and a colorful cast of guests all season. The fun never stops on MLB Central. Weekday mornings 10 Eastern, only on MLB Network.
Here's the thing about this game. It doesn't matter who you are, how big or how small. It doesn't matter where you live or where you come from. It's everyone's game. If you want to play, you can play. Your team's waiting at playball.org.
It doesn't matter how fast you throw, how hard you swing, or how high you jump. It's about winning, 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 and getting a ring. Because the ring is the thing.
A look inside the draft room for the Minnesota Twins. They are picking at number 13. You can get value at this number. Trey Turner, 2014. Brandon Nimmo in 2011. And back in 2010, some kid from no-name school, the White Sox took him at 13. His name was Chris Sale. There's our friend, Jim Cobb, who's in the house as the Twin special assistant representing tonight. 25 big league games. And now he stars in our showcase games with Bob Costas on MLB Network. Now we're waiting to find out who the Twins are going to take with the 13th overall selection. Brett Beatty just went 12th overall to the New York Mets. And this is an organization, talk about young talent. We're seeing it now on the big league level.
Yeah.
These guys are getting a chance to play right away.
Well, I feel like they turned their organization
I hope
over.
this stream's still working.
Scope, and you end up getting
I hope I
Nelly
didn't.
Cruz to add to that group they already had. That's why the Twins were at the top of this division.
Yeah, you got Royce Lewis as their top prospect right now.
Yeah, it's sustainable for me, too, because you got Kirilloff, and you have Lewis, and you have other guys right behind this group.
Twins turn. Let's go to the podium.
With the 13th selection of the 2019 MLB Draft, the Minnesota Twins select Keone Cavaco, a shortstop from Eastlake High School in Chula Vista, California. The Philadelphia Phillies have the next selection.
Well, one of the things Keone's done so well is this guy did not make his area code team. Look at that. Let's take a look at him. I tell you what, the more I watched him, the more I got to look at him. He's been a shortstop, third baseman. They moved him to short in a lot of workouts. The Twins were really impressed with the workout. But I saw a little Manny Machado in him. And at the end of the day, I started thinking about Fernando Tatis. And so today, to find out that they drafted him as a shortstop doesn't surprise me. Electric speed, got an amazing arm, can do all these things. And so you're looking around, the athleticism, the ability, doesn't surprise me. But the thing that's happened for him was the workouts, Jonathan. Got out in front of people, got a chance to see him. It's a guy that they just won a state championship in California, or their CIF, or whatever they want to call that out there in California, but did not make his area code team last summer. So he didn't play on the circuit.
He didn't do anything over the summer, really. It wasn't until the fall that he started popping up at the Angel Excellence game, and the power started showing. The plus arm, he closes.
Oh.
For his high
All right, how we doing?
This is
Doing good. We're on
he's a pop-up
the Twins just took Capico.
Maintain that helium. Sometimes those
Okay.
guys plateau or they drop a little bit. He just kept going up. See run times down the stretch. Playing shortstop for his high school team, I think, is what put him over.
I'm lagging like a motherfucker now.
The edge.
I want to go to Carlos Collazo at Baseball America. Carlos, take me a year ago when you're looking at all these.
I don't think he was on a lot of teams' national
There we go. I think we're
something really new of him.
Stream's gonna go. The stream chat's gonna go weird here.
Player with huge upside, unquestioned plus tools with his arm, his
What's
power,
that?
and his foot speed.
The stream comments have been. They were saying I was lagging while I was trying to get you on. So I'm trying to see if that's resolved itself or not.
Maybe the biggest pop-up high school guy we've had.
But he's got hey, chat, is the stream not lagging for you guys anymore? Or can you hear Mick at all? Mick, try and speak.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Had some stuff going on today.
I'm sure you heard during your time as a general manager. Is there risk when it comes to a high school guy that wasn't on the radar for 3 years and then poof, here he is?
No, your area guys cover that. They get a chance to see him play a lot. You know, it's funny. On the converse side of this, you see a kid that, you know, he did play for an elite travel team. So he was at
I think this might be where stream quality goes downhill a little bit. Like, big time.
People were trying to win.
I'm really trying not to.
So, I mean, it's an interesting kid. It's a good-looking kid. It's a good-looking
Not sure they can hear me here.
Rhythm in his swing, and it's a very projectable body.
Well, Greg and I were looking at him, what, about 2 weeks ago?
Harold brought me into his office because he looks at all the tape.
Okay, yeah, this thing's lagging badly. I think I might have to reset the stream.
Defense, and his hands
All
were
right.
just fluid.
Just let me know what to do here.
Throw,
yeah.
Just the fluidity in which he played.
He looked like a Manny Machado at third base, which I've always contended. Why isn't Manny Machado just playing shortstop? Right. Yeah. If you look that good at third,
he's going to play short, and that arm will work.
Do I need my OBS open?
It's a plus. That was probably his best tool.
That's a good question. Hang on, I'm gonna end the stream right now.
I mean,